How's it going, everybody? It's Alex Jones with Merganser Marine. Today I'm working on a 1962 Evinrude Fisherman 5.5 horsepower, and we're going to be draining and putting new lower gear oil in it. And I wanted to show you guys how to do it if you didn't know how to do it. Save you guys some money. It's pretty easy. Anybody can do it with basic tools. So here we go. We're just going to dive on in. Okay, so with these Evinrudes and Johnsons as well, the gear oil drain hole is here, and it usually says oil drain or something. It's always the lower one, and the oil level is here. So I'll show you guys how we're gonna check it and drain it in a moment. With this oil drain here, it's very different from this hole over here. This is a pinion that holds the lower gears into place. So we do not want to be unscrewing that one in this job, but we do want to be unscrewing this here. So I'm just going to find a place to put you guys. Maybe right here. All right, and we're gonna be draining this in a second. Okay, folks, all you need is a flathead screwdriver for this job here. So we're gonna just be turning it counterclockwise. As you can see, this one's it was a little stiff. So if these are super, oops, you can't even see. Okay, folks, all I did here is I started to unscrew this before I had some camera difficulties. Sometimes when these are super stiff, and you don't want to, like, I kind of did a little bit here, but you don't want to tear up the groove here with your screwdriver. If you have a propane torch or like a lighter or something, sometimes if you just heat it up a little bit, anything with these old Evinrudes helps with heat. A lot of the old bolts on these old motors are stuck. Anyway, so we're just gonna, sorry, I have to hold the camera so you guys can see. We're gonna unscrew this lower screw here for the oil to drain. Just counterclockwise. And it's just like draining oil in a car. So yeah, this oil here is about due. So it's kind of like barely dripping out. But the key is here, when you drain that lower, is you go up to the oil level here. And when you open up this one, hold on, I'm just gonna put you guys right here. When you open up that top one, there's a vacuum in there that kind of sucks it all down. So when you relieve the pressure in the top one, all right. So you guys are seeing a perfect example of when we're going to be heating up a screw. Sorry, my chair here. Okay, we're going to be heating up this bolt here to make it a little bit easier. Because, no, wait, I didn't need to. I was about to get the propane torch and I got scared. So here, look, when I open that top one, look how much more oil's coming out. So this oil isn't terrible. What you don't want to see is chocolate milk, or what you really don't want to see is pure water, because when you got that going on, as some of you guys know, others watching this video might not, is some seal issues with water getting into that gear oil and whatnot. So I'm gonna let this drain out here, and I'll pick you guys up in a second. So while that oil is finishing up draining, I just want to show you what I use. I just use the Quicksilver, which is the Mercury brand 90-weight gear lube. You can buy this at Bi-Mart or Walmart or wherever you guys are. It's pretty easy to find. It is like, I think I paid $13.99 for a quart, so it's not the cheapest. With that being said, you can use other 90-weight gear lubes. It doesn't have to be this. You can use Lube, whatever you want. One thing I will say though that makes a huge difference to me is getting the kit that comes with a pump and this hose, because this threaded part here just threads into the motor, or to the lower, where we're going to see in a second, and then you can just pump the oil in, and that makes it a lot easier. Whoops. Some people just used a bottle of gear lube and will squeeze it in. You don't have to have it threaded. You could even just have a a hose if you'd like, and just hold it up and it'll work just as good. So now we're gonna get back to the motor. All right, guys, here we are back at the lower. It's just finishing up draining, as you can see here. And while this is just finishing the last couple drops, I just want to let you guys know like how easy this is. I remember the first time I started working on motors, I was really nervous because I didn't know what I was doing, and it's kind of nerve-wracking thinking that you might get in over your head, but there's so much support that I've had from people, and that if you guys had any questions, you guys can ask so many people that would be more than willing to help you through the process. But I mean, as long as you can really undo 2 bolts and pump some oil into this, it's a job that anybody can do. So don't go out and pay a ton of money for something you can do in your garage. It literally takes 5 minutes to do this job here. So I'm just gonna wipe off the excess drippage we got here on our skeg, and then now we're gonna go back to this gear lube bottle that comes with this fancy attachment that comes with the kit, and we're literally just gonna thread this in to this motor. I got this O-ring here. Take this O-ring out with the drain plug, and now we're gonna drain that in. So you guys, keep in mind, I am no professional at this. I mean, I work on motors as a hobbyist. Merganser Marine, kind of my little startup thing. I work on motors for people, but I'm not by any means a certified person. Okay, so now that is attached in there, we're on the bottom hole. You don't fill it up from the top, you fill it up from the bottom, and I'll show you why in a second. So here we are, we're gonna start pumping. So we're just pumping it in right now, nice and steady stream of this good gear lube. And you guys want to make sure that you're not running, you want to make sure this thing is full. You don't want any issues with your lower. That's sure to ruin anybody's day. Still pumping. It's going to take about 9 ounces, I believe, on this motor. So we're just going to keep pumping until it's going to start dribbling out of this oil level. And I think we are almost out of this quart, and I'm going to put a new one on in a second. Pick you guys up there. Alright guys, I got my new quart on, and once you buy the kit with the attachment on it, you just keep the top part and you can just buy the quart. So we're just going to continue pumping this good lube up in there, nice and oiled up like so. Okay, and we're just watching this top part here. And you know, there's tons of videos on this, but figured it's a good one to have on different motors. And keep in mind guys, this is my first video, so bear with me. We're still pumping, and what it's doing is it's pumping obviously from the bottom up through the lower housing. Here we go. See how it's pouring out there just a little bit, and if I pump more, there's more. So now our housing is full. So now we're going to take the top. I'll do one little half one just to make sure it's back up there. And just put the bolt and the washer, the wax ring washer, back in there. Just like that. It's simple. No stress here. Until you break one of these bolts off, then it's another problem. Then it's going to be another problem, guys. Look, so literally putting this screw back in, making sure it's at least snug for now. We can go back after and tighten it. I'm going to wipe this excess oil off. And you know what, you want to make sure to service your impeller and your oil especially. I'd say at least once a season. It depends on how often you use your motor. So I'm going to reinstall the wax wash, or the plastic little ring on this lower bolt here. Kind of being difficult. Alright folks, we're back. Sorry, that washer was being a little more difficult than it needed to be. Anyways, I seated it back there on the bolt there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to unthread the pump applicator here on this lower housing. So I'm just unscrewing that. And then see it's dripping oil, and then I'm just gonna plug it with this. Plug it with the bolt and close it all back up like so. Just screw it shut. And then make it snug, and now we can go up to the top and do that one a little tight. You don't have to make it super tight. You can either harm the threads that are in it, or for the next guy that's doing this, cause him a lot of curse words. So okay, so now that that's done, last thing you do, clean it up, wipe the excess oil off. And that is pretty much it. What I will say is, in case nobody told you, like they didn't me, when you're storing this gear lube, take it and do something like this, because it will drip out of this hose all over your tools, or all over where you keep it. So I always just keep this hose propped upward, because if you have it downwards, the oil will flow out of it. This is a helpful tip. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, these motors are incredibly reliable and incredibly simple. I mean, there's only a handful of things to do to maintain it that I'll probably go over with this motor as well. There's also only a handful of things that can go wrong with them when they're not running to fix. So that's what I kind of like about these. But anyways, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment below. And if you like this video, if it helped you, please subscribe to this channel. Once again, my name is Alex, and this is Merganser Marine. And thanks for watching the video. Hope it helped. Have a good night.